So, Leon Edwards, what can we say about him? After his last-minute head kick against Kamaru Usman to claim the welterweight title, many people took a liking to him, especially after his famous "look at me now" pound-for-pound headshot deadline. However, since then, he has defended the title only once against Usman and has essentially held up the division ever since. Initially, he refused to fight Colby Covington, claiming Colby was undeserving, despite coming off a win over Nate Diaz. Leon himself nearly got finished in the final seconds before fighting for the belt. Colby, on the other hand, was coming off a win against Jorge Masvidal, who had previously defeated Diaz. Using that logic, Colby does seem deserving. But that's not the main point. Leon expressed a desire to move up to middleweight for a super fight, aiming for champ status after just one defense and, possibly, a win over Covington. However, at this point, Covington shouldn't even be the number one contender, as there are few fighters ranked lower who I believe could beat him. Leon has yet to face anyone in the top 10 other than Usman and Luque. He hasn't fought Wonderboy, Shavkat, or Gilbert Burns. When he did face Belal, he poked him in the eye so badly that Belal has had a permanent bonk ever since. As much as I want Leon to succeed, he seems to have a strange delusion that he can pick and choose super fights just because he's the champion, even though he hasn't cleaned out his own division. He needs to be more realistic. McGregor was McGregor, Adesanya had beaten everyone, Volkanovski had beaten everyone. Leon doesn't have the star power to make such demands. In my opinion, he needs to prove himself as a defending welterweight champion before attempting a shot at middleweight. He's generally inactive. Imagine him being the champion in 2 weight classes? I know he said he'd win the middleweight title if he could and then go back down to welterweight, but what's the point? Everyone who went up and was successful stayed there. GSP retired again straight after, but DC moved from light heavyweight to heavyweight. Volk was likely going to vacate or defend both belts because he's active. I'd imagine Izzy, had he won, would have done something similar. McGregor moved to lightweight, Alex Pereira to light heavyweight, etc. It makes no sense for the UFC to let a welterweight move up to middleweight, win a belt, and move back down because that will only tarnish the middleweight belt's legacy. It's a clusterfuck and makes no financial sense for the UFC. Leon should defend against Belal just to prove he can beat him. I'd pick Leon in that fight anyway, as before the eye poke, he was dominating Belal in their previous fight. Shavkat probably finishes Leon, so I don't think his chances of becoming a 2-division champ are very high. Financially, it makes no sense for the UFC, like when McGregor did it, and it doesn't make sense for the welterweight division because there are plenty of people he can fight, and at least one, Shavkat Rakhmonov, who I think would certainly finish him. What do you guys think? Is Leon delusional? Did that punch from Diaz give him CTE? I guess we have to wait and find out. Don't forget to subscribe for more.